Should I be able to start my video?
I believe you're sharing now, Coach, so you should be all square.
Okay.
Okay, this hour we have Coach Pat Taylor, offensive line coach and recruiting coordinator from Kutztown University, presenting on pinpoint run game. Coach, thank you for supporting Lawrence First and Gold. The room is now yours.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And special thanks to the Luce family for allowing me to present here. And I am going to speak on the run game that we have here at Kutztown. One of the run games that we do with pin pull. So first and foremost, just a little background here about Kutztown. All right, we've had a pretty good run here the last 4 years, really going back to 2016, but highlight the last 4 years. Our senior class just had a combined record 42-10. We've won the PSAC East 3 of the last 4 seasons, won the PSAC championship 2 of the last 3 seasons. We played in the NCAA quarterfinals 2 of the last 3 years, played in the Final Four or semifinals this past season, and we've been able to accomplish a lot. And it's a testament to our guys. It's been a lot of fun being able to be here. So I want to speak a little bit about our 2 run schemes. We have pin pull and we have a pin wrap play that we will run to basically a number of different looks. And I know guys are familiar with pin pull. People probably heard me talk about before. I want to kind of give you guys a quick synopsis of the different looks that we've seen and some of the answers that we have. So I'm going to kind of run through these things pretty quickly here. Pin pull, in my mind, it goes to a tight end. Pin wrap goes to an open end. You'll see the difference. I used the numbers from the last 2 seasons here. We're 51% efficient on almost 150 attempts. For us, efficiency is 4 yards on first down, half the distance on second down, third and fourth down. It's a matter of if you get it. We average 5.2 yards per carry, and less than 8% of the runs have been a negative run. So it's been something that's been pretty good for us. The reason I use the last 2 seasons is because we basically have played 9 different guys on the offensive line in those 2 years. So it is something that we have done with a number of different offensive linemen, and we've figured out ways to do it to utilize some of their strengths. All right, so I'll get right into it here. Here we got pin pull, right, and we're going here to the left. Basic rules are fairly simple. I'll touch on these. I really won't come back to them. You can obviously rewind it if you need to as you go through it. So the tight end will have the defensive end in a 4-down front. Between the backside or between the play side guard and tackle, one of those guys will down block. One of them will be the first puller. And the second puller will traditionally be the center. All right. So our rules are, and we figure out ways to do it differently, but our rules are predominantly if there is a B gap tackle, we will block down with the tackle and we'll pull the guard. If there's an A gap tackle, we will block down with the guard and pull the tackle. We will then, as much as we can, like I said, pull the center. The first puller normally will take the alley. The second puller will traditionally take the linebacker. All right. For the running back, your read can be as simple as follow the second puller. All right. And if you just teach the center to read it the same way, you're normally in pretty good shape. Backside, they treat it like outside zone. We have the backside guard and tackle for the backside D tackle and the backside linebacker. If we have a tight end on the backside, you can do all your zone read stuff if you want. You can arc them, you can cut them off, you can do whatever it is that you want. So the big picture way that we try to teach this on the front side is really we got 4 for 4. We'll have the tight end, the tackle, the guard, and the center. For the D tackle, the D end, the linebacker, and the alley player. All right. Backside, we're 2 for 2 or 3 for 3. 3 for 3, depending on if there's a tight end back there. All right, quarterback will always have the ability to pull it if he sees the DM crashing. So I'll kind of get into some of these clips here. All right, this is obviously to a gap tackle, so we're going to have the tackle pull. All right, and we're going to have the center pull. All right, so one of the biggest coaching points I try to make is the center has to see the linebacker. The first puller has to see the alley. All right, so any kind of run through, you'll want to stop and put on the brakes there. All right, with the first puller. All right. One thing I tell those guys is, hey, you're not as good as an athlete as the guy you're pulling for, So ideally, we'd like to pull and just run through those guys. They will make you right. All right. If we have the ability on the backside, we want to use a double team here with the backside guard and tackle to try to combo up to this guy, the backside Mike here. If he's plussed over, you'll see the backside guard will just go. And if we have a backside A gap player, right, the backside tackle can just go. All right. So, yeah, from a different angle here, it's a little bit cleaner. All right, a little bit cleaner. So, pretty self-explanatory there. For the down blocks, we tell these guys you'll see a number of different ways. The tackles or the guards, the interior guys, the guards can be more aggressive. All right, because in my mind, this doesn't kill you as much if you're a guard. It's harder if you're a tackle. Right. This is what we're more worried about with this coming across. All right, and then no differently here. All right, he just has to kind of maintain the block and allow the pullers to see where to put the ball. So we'll get a lot of guys, teams know we do this. We'll get a lot of guys that will kind of spike out here. If we think they're doing that, we can kind of pick up, put down, collect, run them out. If we think he's going to be a hard C gap player, all right, we'll be a little bit more aggressive, try to make it look like inside zone. So ideally, the coaching point here is if you think you're going to be across your face, you can step with your outside foot first, react to inside move. If you think he's going to be a hard C gap player, right, you want to take your hat, aim for the V of his neck, and keep him pinned in with a strong outside arm and leg. All right, you'll see back here with our guard, he will throw his outside hand, right, try to post on the 3 technique on his way to 45. Again, if we thought 45 was in here, all right, you would see that he would not. He would just go. You need to put that on the tackle to get the 3 technique reached. Again, I'm not going to harp on these as we go through it, but I do want you guys to kind of be able to see what what these guys are doing. All right, and again, for the running back, it's just as simple as follow the puller. If we get inside pressure, we tell the ball to run outside. All right, that's normally been pretty good for us. Something we just kind of stumbled across. I can't tell you that's a real rule for any pin pull. All right, so if a guy ends up getting hurt there, we'll take that one out. Here's 1 to a 3 technique. All right, here's 1 to a 3 technique. So one of the things that you'll see here, all right, is the tackle is now down blocking, right? The guard's pulling, and we get a kick out and a wrap. This is a linebacker who's playing over the top. All right, and conversely, we have the backside guard cutting off, backside tackle just running to the backside linebacker. All right, on the backside with second level players, especially, we teach these guys, hey, you can run by him if you need to, and then wheel back. All right, but you see a pretty good shot there by the guard, just running his feet, kicking them out. Right, center does a great job reading it. Safety overfits it. All right, we got ourselves a pretty good play there. I'm gonna keep firing out different looks. Here we have a 3 down front. All right, and this team had the ability to go from 3 down to 4 down. So with this look, we identify it, right, nose front, 3 down. All right, and then these guys have the ability to make some adjustments here. So again, keeping in the mind of once we have a nose front against these guys, we wanted to base the center. Doesn't mean we do it all the time. Sometimes we'll down block. All right, but now if you keep in mind, hey, we got 1, 2, 3 for 1, 2, and 3. These guys know the different rules that they can have, right? So here they decide, hey, we want to block this thing in. I don't like the angles that we have. This guy's playing with too much space. We might be worried about a crossface, whatever it is. So the puller knows, hey, I got to get out here to 33. All right. And then backside here, all right, the backside guard and tackle know, hey, we got the D tackle and we got the linebacker. All right. And if he knows, if he's worried about this guy playing here, all right, he has the ability to pull around. If he thinks he can go get him right now, he can do that as well. And again, we'll work on that during the week of practice and make a decision. So when you watch this one, all right, a lot of people might say, hey, coach, this is no longer pin pull. This is more puck sweep. That's fine. And I won't argue that point. I just tell you what our guys think it is, and they think it's pin pull with 3 down here. So here's a look. Let me get to this other angle here. Here's a look, and we're going to get some inside pressure. Again, we got 3 technique here, and we're going to get some twist game. All right. So when you watch this, right, teams will sometimes try to do this. We're in the pistol here. All right, we're in the pistol, and the pistol is great to help protect against any nonsense in here with twists, with guys filling in. And the biggest point is if you want to play it safe, you take away the backside read for the quarterback. All right. The path of the back and the mesh here is not great based on the snap, kind of messing it up a little bit. All right, probably a little bit too tight, but what you end up seeing is all this stuff, the ball is able just to run outside. All right, so great answer for all those things. You'll see our center here is actually blocking back on the shade. All right, if we get a shade and we don't love this matchup, we have the ability to swap the center and the guard. All right, so rather than now them being 4 for 4, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4 with the center, guard, tackle, and tight end, we are now 5 for 5. Backside tackles going to 2. All right, backside tight end, right? You have the C gap. All right, so you see here, end up just kind of passing it off, walling it off. The first puller actually ends up overrunning it. All right, good job on the back, making them right. Get some good yards there. All right. Here we're going to get more interior pressure. Right now, this is coming from the safety and the linebacker. All right, so again, I would like for this first puller here to be a hair quicker with his eyes. All right, and he probably has the ability to put the brakes on, but maybe end up helping with this 3 technique a hair quicker. All right, I would tell these guys, hey, if the tackle's seeing this, right, and he's seeing this, all right, well, then you probably want to use that outside foot here, not slam down on the 3. But he does a good job of recovering. All right, again, backside tackle here was a young guy. This happens a lot. This is why we teach, hey, run by him and move back, because you think you got him, right, and then he ends up making a mess. But again, any kind of interior pressure, this is great. If you can win on the edge, you got pretty good play. And it's a great awareness by the left guard here. Just wheeling back with the inside pressure and ends up picking up on the 3 technique. So good coaching point on there. All right, here we're running into the field, right? We're going to go out here to the field. And this is a popular coverage that we're seeing a lot of, where you get the outside backer playing outside of 2. All right. And again, create a little bit of a weird edge. We got a 5, we got a gap player. So realistically, we should have the tackle getting out here to the alley. All right, second puller, inside backer. But what you'll see here, I won't use it from this angle because of the coverage. All right, it is the tackle in my mind. His eyes went looking inside. All right, now the center does a great job of making them right, and the running back ends up getting back there. But this is good teaching point for the back, right? Follow the second puller. He read it right. The right tackle was wrong here. At least he did it violently, though, which is always appreciated. All right. So the thing I tell those guys is don't pass up color, but also there's a rule that if you go inside looking for color, you will always find it. And therefore, he's technically getting an A here. All right. Ends up being a touchdown. So we'll forgive him. Here's a shot at the backside guard and tackle just going. They felt comfortable reaching the 3 technique, so they gave him free access there to go and run. All right, and hell of a run by the running back. All right, so this is a little bit different. You'll see it again from this angle. It's probably a little bit cleaner to start. All right, and we're just motioning over here, and we end up with 3-by-1 into the boundary, and we're actually going to put the receiver right onto the safety here and make it a kick out on the corner. All right. Second thing you'll notice is that this run is a little bit some of the 3 high safety look stuff that everyone's seeing these days. And we just basically started to try to count. So we have 6 offensive linemen in the game. And we're going to send our tight end in. All right. And this can be something that we call, it can be called at the line of scrimmage, like you saw against East Stroudsburg, the one clip. Right. This is a design one where we want to block down with our tackle and our tight end, or our 2 tight ends in this case. Our normal rules apply here. And where it gets a little bit tricky is who's this guy, right? Is he the front side backer, or is he the backside backer? So in our world, we decided, hey, we were going to try to pull, right, our center 41. All right, we were going to kick out that corner, and we're going to let 10 get blocked by, all right, the receiver. Now, it really didn't leave anyone for our backside tackle. And with, these 2 guys kind of sitting here, they're saying, what should we do? We decided he was a really good player. Let's not give him any leverage on anyone. So we had our guard block out, right? And then we just told the tackle, if you don't think you can go to anybody, all right, then you can just join in the party. All right, so here's a good shot. He doesn't really end up blocking anybody, but he gets in the way and knocks some people down, which is appreciated. But it's a different look for the defense, right? They start seeing 3 people pulling and said, oh, man, this is a different play. It's really not. It's our guys just kind of understanding what to do. All right, so pretty good run there by our running back. All right, here's one, and this is a good one. All right, this was a good one. This happened this year in our quarterfinal game. And the thing with this is we started getting a lot of, we started getting a lot of this as teams started giving us issues with this. And if you continue to count the numbers, right, like 44 is going to go on the outside. He was normally an inside guy. All right. So our guy said, well, okay, we're just going to wash this thing down no differently than we did. And you'll see a clip of us doing it later, where we're just kind of boxing into this guy, right? We're going into this guy. So with that being said, we're only going to have one puller because the tight end saying, I'm going down on this. And because 44 was originally inside and now going outside, we need a second puller, right? We need the first puller for 44, right? We need the second puller for 22. All right. And then we got 36 out here. All right. I'll get into this later. But one of the things that's nice is that if you get into this world and you get into some of these formations where you got three guys out here and they're still playing with two high safeties just to protect the boundary, you have your run over here as well. All right. And that is something when we have an older quarterback, we start to mess with, as well as checking this thing at the line of scrimmage, which is pretty cool. All right. So here, good job of Justin. Gets us an efficient run. We get about 5 yards here. You'll see the backside combination guys. Those guys lock on because there's no one to go to. All right. But we ultimately didn't have anyone for that alley player. Good job by the running back getting some yards. Here's a cleaner look at it. All right, so they're trying to twist off, and these guys just said, "Hey, I thought something was coming." They stayed on it. So we do enough stuff. I trust them. I trust them. We don't get every call right, but they do a pretty good job of creating some runs. Here's another one. All right, they're going to. This is for two reasons, right? If you have problems with the backside linebacker, it's pretty good, and we notice, hey, when teams run ISO at him, split zone ISO, he played downhill. All right, so a lot of times when you watch the cut-ups of our pin pull to a tight end, a lot of the 6 and 7 yard runs are the backside back, right? He makes a lot of those plays from 6 and 7. So our thought was, well, hell, if we can get him blocked, maybe we can create a little bit of a more explosive run. So you will see here, right? We put our tight end on him, and he, again, he takes himself right out of the play. All right, so now we're back to paying 4 for 4 over here on the left side. All right, and honestly, our this is a good example of the center and the running back being on different pages. Now, I can't tell you why the center didn't think to go outside here, but he didn't. All right, go right there. Probably have a pretty good run. All right, so the running back needs to follow the puller. All right, and also you need your puller to read it correctly. All right, so I do have some ones of us. We're not all perfect, but good run nonetheless. All right, here we're in 11 personnel, and we're just going to motion this thing in. All right, we're going to motion this thing in. And again, this is more for player recognition. All right, these guys are, you play all the same teams every year in your division and your conference, and these guys know well enough to say, hey, we don't want to run. They get, we're playing Kutztown. We got the running back and the tight end away from each other. Be ready for pin pull. All right, we'll do it with the back and tight end to the same side. Doesn't matter to us. We'll do it with the quarterback. But in general, make these guys communicate a little bit more. All right. So as you see this thing go, we get our tight end over there. All right. Our normal rules apply. And again, great job by the guard collecting the 3-10 or the 2-eyed spike into a 3. All right. And good job, by the tight end and the tackle as far as collecting this head up technique that's going out. All right. So not a great run, all right, but we're at 4 or 5 yards there, whatever that one was. So here, this one's a hair different, and the quarterback actually makes the wrong read. We are going to now throw a screen to the running back. All right, when you watch this, we tell the running back, hey, or the quarterback, if you got the numbers, throw it to the back. All right, which he actually has the numbers. He decides to keep it anyway. All right, now here's a 9 technique, which is often the biggest question that we get. Hey, what do you guys do to a 9 technique? We tell the tight ends, you guys are going to take a shuffle reach. All right. So you'll see here the tight end, a little bit of that shuffle reach. What I like for them to stay more square, attack his leverage, absolutely. But we will ideally try to identify, hey, this is a team that's going to play with 9 techniques. So these guys know I'm going to run inside. Now you'll see when you look out here, this one gets a little bit convoluted for our guys as far as, hey, where are we going? All right, is this the backside back or is this for the first puller, right? Is this for the first puller? So again, the tackle and the guard make a call to go in, all right, which is not a big deal. The center is going to play off of it. All right, he gets a nice kick out, all right, and we end up on the safety, stepped out the 2-yard line here but this might be a little bit of a cleaner look. So here, again, is this actually pin pull? I don't know. All right, but it is an adjustment that we have used in the scheme to try to help us deal with some of the different fronts we see. And this is a great example. I tell these guys, look, just run through them. All right, 72 is not, a crazy athlete. All right, so stopping your feet and trying to block those guys in space will not go well. All right, and when you catch them, it normally goes well. Here's a little bit of the same idea. All right, now we have the tight end off the ball. All right, we're going to do it with the tight end off the ball. We're going to do it with the back to the same side. All right, so these guys actually, again, I guess they thought we're getting some kind of pinch here. So they're going to combo this thing up there, the inside backer. All right, just again, swapping responsibilities. The center's going to see it. He's going to kick out the alley player. All right, this is great. This is a great tool to use if you have a guy back here who you think's pretty good at reading, right? If you're worried about the backside backer, if you use the same side footwork, a lot of times it will make them hesitate. It gives the backside tackle a chance. All right. So you see it here again. We just use a reach technique. All right, understanding that we can go back on anything that pinches inside. Tight end cuts off. All right, we get a nice kick out there by the center. And again, it's just 4 for 4. And those guys are at the line of scrimmage making some adjustments. Here we go. This is, again, more inside pressure. All right, and this one works out pretty well. There's a couple good coaching points on this. So against these guys, we will, if we happen to see teams that also run pin pull, one of the things that will absolutely kill pin pull is the old 3 technique that can spike across the tackle's face. All right, so if we don't love our matchup there with certain people, I will tell the guards, hey, just reach the 3. All right, and the reason we found this out is because a kid we've had 2 kids the last 3 years in our program during spring ball and during summer, where every time we try to run this play, those guys are fighting over the face before we even, get out of our stances. They, become familiar with what they're seeing. So I said, well, hell, why don't we try to reach them? All right. So in this look, you're going to see, right, that pull, and really just because I thought this guy did a really good job of fighting off down blocks. All right. Second puller has the inside backer. All right. Now I tell those guys, hey, still take your pull footwork. All right. He sees 41's going to start coming downhill here. All right. So he's going to pull, right, and then he just turns it into a reach. All right. Backside, once you start to you see 47's creeping, you can't help, right? The left tackle has to see this. He just has to see, hey, 47's plussed over. I'm not going to have any help. All right. Now, I will tell you, is 87 should absolutely be ripping through this thing, all right, and getting up to that safety. Because as we know, when we don't get to him, he often ends up making the play. All right. So you see here, the tackle ends up pulling, and he actually never blocks the first guy, right? The alley player. He ends up just taking himself out of the play. It's a great play. So great versus interior pressure. Love it versus interior pressure. Here's a look, right? And this is a little bit different. Sorry for the sideways camera here, but we got 3, we got a 5. All right. And again, this is, I believe in the middle of the game or so. And, we had seen this enough where, hey, we're getting a lot of spikes, 3-5 spikes. They're getting tight, they're reading. You can normally just tell as an offensive lineman, reading stances, whatever. I'm worried about this guy spiking in. So when that's the case, I don't love this block on the 3 that's going in. And conversely, I don't love this block for the tight end. So again, it's a credit to our guys for figuring out a lot of this stuff. Just at the line of scrimmage, say, hey, coach, can we try this? I said, yeah, sure, give it a whirl. All right, and we do it in practice, and then we go from there. So here, we're actually going to fake this to the back, and the quarterback's going to go, and that's going to end up getting this guy blocked. The Mike backer, he's going to be blocked by the backside combination. These guys are going to pinch. The tight end's going to end up on him, right, and we're only going to have 1 puller left for that. All right, so some of these things, you'll get some bad ones, all right, and then sometimes you get some great ones. Again, not a great job by our center. He eats it pretty good at the end there. But if you're running full speed and the ball can make you right, more often than not, you'll be in pretty good shape. All right, so here's a look at from this angle. Those guys, again, just kind of feeling it. You see 56 had a good feel for, thought we're getting some movement there. All right, so he's going to let that thing go. He's going to climb right up to 3. All right, our left tackle trying to, invite him in there. All right, and, probably got away with a hold. I can argue that point. But then our tight end ends up climbing. He ends up pinning him. Pretty good job. Center's running. You get a good ball play there. Here's one, and this happens more than you would probably think, right? We're getting blitzed from a lot of different angles and things like that. And the fronts sometimes will get a little bit screwed up. So here you have your A gap player, and then you have a 9, right? You have your A gap player is a 2-eye, you have a 9 technique. So again, based on the rule, guard is down, tackle's pulling. But what I also tell those guys is, if you're pulling for a 9, you're probably inserting inside. So here, the left tackle, he's just going to take a little bit of a shuffle step. He ends up looking back inside. Doesn't need to. He should be thinking, hey, I'm going to end up climbing realistically with the safety rotation up to 25, which is what he does. Center almost finds that backside safety here. He almost finds 39. And we actually should be in trouble here, right? We got our 3, we got our 5. Again, we're getting this. We know it's coming. All right. And realistically, you don't have a great answer. All right. Because he should get swallowed up by the 3. He should get swallowed up by the 5. And then you're not going to have anybody for him. So we didn't practice this. What I would tell you is, hey, you go to 25, you pin, you end up on 40. All right. If we knew we were getting it, if we had the ability with a little bit of an older group, we could have our tight end end up trying to race around to get to 40 or allow these slants to happen and get to 40 this way. Just keeping in mind 3 for 3 or 4 for. All right. So it's an unbelievable job by our right? He benches that guy off and then he finds 40. Credit to him. He's a really talented player. So here's one, and this is kind of the end of the tight end side ones, is here's a screen that we do where we're going to fake pin pull to the quarterback and we're going to throw it back to the running back. All right. And again, you see we had our left tackle in there here. You get a little bit of a knee injury this day. But it's really not a hard block. Everyone's running pin pull. All right. And I tell the center, as a second puller, you want to try to insert and potentially get a safety or someone who might make the play down the field. And then everyone else is blocking in, right? So we're going to get the receivers to block in, leave the widest for the backside tackle. All right, so they're going in, backside tackle. Again, a lot of window dressing there, throw a screen. And it's really just something to help them, slow them down. All right, so if you're going to run this, the biggest points of emphasis I will make is just be creative in how you're getting to it. All right. It's something that's really good, but you might have to be a little bit different in the backfield action. Getting the tight ends aligned, things of that nature, motioning, they're all very good options. But I hope that, if you do want to run this and you saw some of the fronts that you might have seen that giving you issues, potentially getting some answers there. All right. When we run pin and wrap, this is the same exact kind of concept. We're just going to not have a tight end on the front side. So it's guard, tackle, center for the D end, D tackle, all right, and inside linebacker to that side. All right, again, same idea. We had 61% efficiency. We averaged 5 yards a carry. This was less than 5%, resulted in negative runs. So again, 2 different offensive lines, still with a lot of good results here. All right, so I'll talk through this one with how our rules go. So here, we're going to run this thing to the left here, right? So the tackle should be taking he has the defensive end. So he needs to take a shuffle reach on the D end. If he thinks he's getting some kind of slant, right, he should pick up a foot. All right. The guard is responsible for the A gap D tackle, right? And the center has the linebacker. All right. We will primarily only run this to an A gap tackle. but we will have some other ways of doing it. All right. It's not the only thing we run. So it is one of those things where if you're just preparing to take this away, we do have some other answers. Backside, those guys are running outside zone. So they should be scooping the backside D tackle and the backside linebacker. All right. Same idea with the down block. All right. You're going to be on the V of his neck. All right. And the center has the inside backer, and it's really block him on the angle you find him. All right. So here we're using a little bit of motion. All right. And again, it's a great job by the tackle. All right. He just takes a little bit of a shuffle reach. All right. 55 runs his feet through. And there you go. You got some good yards right there. So one of the things that we see a bunch, all right, will be guys walking the linebackers out. All right. And the tackles are taught, tackles, guards, centers on this front side. Hey, you got to be able to see this. All right. So you'll see right here, our left tackle kind of pick up, put down, collect inside. That's fine. The center knows, hey, I'm getting outside of this whole thing. All right. Where this block becomes really challenging is the three with the A gap linebacker. Guard and tackle can't combo this, right? They're just running. All right. So a couple good points to highlight here. Great job by the center. All right. And the tackle. All right. And an unbelievable job by the guard. All right. Just knocking them over. All right. Being physical. We're going to shot at it. Get what the running back saw there. All right. Here it is. All right. So one of the things that we've done is, we'll run this thing. All right. This looks like, hey, you guys are going to run pin pull, with the tackle and the tight end. And for whatever reason, we like to mix it up here. We're just going to end up calling this our pin wrap game. So we're going to keep the tackle on the defensive end, and we're going to arc onto the tight end. The reason you would do this is if you think you're getting a ton of crossface, you're getting a ton of those issues, you can just say, hey, you guys can zone this thing on the front side. All right, we're running this instead. All right, it makes it pretty easy read. All right, we're still getting the split action out of the backfield. All right, there could be thinking zone read, insert zone, whatever it is. Pretty good run there. So looks not different for our kids. Looks different for the defense. This is a good one. All right, we're going to run this thing to the field here. All right, and we're going to get the same thing. The DN's going to pinch in. And realistically, we thought we were going here. This team was a big bracket coverage team. So our center ends up back on 50. He was a defense player of the year in the conference. I get why he goes back there. If we were greedy, I would tell you, hey, just go take this guy filling the alley here, 24. But again, the idea of the tackles are under control and, just kind of working on this block as far as, hey, those guys want to play inside, let them play inside. All right. Your backside combination, those guys got to be able to run. All right. And I'll take it. Explosive run. Pretty good job there. Here's one. We got bunched here. All right. And again, we can put this in our offense in different ways. We can make this a check, whatever it is. We're a big inside zone to the bunch. All right. So you'll get teams that will overplay it. They might rotate this guy down, rotate this guy back. All right. We like our 3-for-3 surface over here. We're going to pin, we're going to wrap. Our center here, I would like to see just run through this. All right. Just run through it. All right. And then backside here, we're telling the receiver, try to block the force player. All right. Same thing. You see our tight end. He stops his feet. Just keep running. Keep running. Keep running. All right. Here's a good use of motion. All right. We can use motion a number of different ways. We can use motion to hold backside defensive ends. We can use motion to get safeties to fit it incorrectly. Ideally. All right. And really, you just get the linebackers to stop the feet, right? You see the linebacker here. He's saying, oh, man, what's going on back there? And meanwhile, we got him reach. This is a great job by the safety finding this. All right. But again, little window dressing. You see 18. 18's, he's thinking, I got the speed sweep, what's going on? And this allows us to run this to the same side. All right. Same side. All right. So same side, wide zone for our running backs here. Just follow the ball. Here's one we use a dummy cane, so we get a look that we like. All right. And again, a little bit more aggressive here out of the left tackle. All right. He sensed that the DN was a contained player. All right. So he's going to widen him. All right. Now, again, I will tell you one of the most important coaching points for the back. If you don't want to cut until you get to the heels of the offensive line. So you can see here, there's about a 2 yard difference between the running back and the center. And again, our center is not some freak athlete. So he's going to need all the help he can get. He knows where this thing wants to go. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, get behind it, get vertical. All right, might have a touchdown. I'm fine with the center here. He gets caught up a hair. I don't, maybe get vertical a hair quicker, but I think if the back presses it a little bit more, all right, that will look a hair better. If you start to reach the D ends quickly, you can get greedy with the tight ends and add them back in. You'd be surprised how many people fall back in on this stuff. Here's one. Again, if you're RPO in this, you get the linebacker to take a walk. We end up just locking the backside, all right, because normally you're going to get some kind of deal with this and this, right? Maybe you get this and this. Hell, you can arc this and read him if you want. It's all the same stuff. It's all good. Whatever your backside on inside or outside zone is. All right, but there's another look at it. And again, that doesn't look great. That doesn't really fire me up as far as, the way it ended up looking there. But gain of 5, gain of 6. Pretty good. Here's one where we're using the fast motion. All right, and we're just telling this is no different to these guys than what we saw on the one clip back on where we went with the tight end on the ball. All right, we're going to fast motion this. Tackle and tight end are going to be responsible for the safety and the defensive end. All right, the tight end reads this as the D end's playing out, so he inserts in and tell him, hey, read this thing like the ball. All right, backside, we got to do a little bit better job of getting through this. All right, we will normally try to have a feel for, hey, every time we're getting down blocked, do we have to go vertical now, or can we go on an angle? It just depends on the D tackle most of the time. So here we could have probably went vertical a little bit quicker with the motion because he ends up kind of getting called off, I think, on that D tackle a bit. All right. The tackle could have absolutely been more aggressive in trying to reach this thing, but I think the technique threw him off a hair. All right. And then the center just ends up stopping his feet. All right. It's a great job by the back, getting some yards there. And the reason we went to this is because our guys found it a lot easier to read this play than they did reading, traditional wide zone out of the gun. They didn't, when attacking the C gap, finding the line or finding the next D tackle, maybe we're not running far enough, and we're trying to press it and we're getting blocked by him or getting tackled by him. That mesh was a little bit messed up. So this is something that we've gone to almost exclusively. So here, same idea, right? We got a 4-eye and 2-eye here. So these guys know, hey, we're going to be 2 for 2. Anytime you get this kind of stuff, you're probably anticipating some kind of twist. All right, the center should see this, make this a kick out. All right, where we got to win here is on the backside, right? Backside guard and tackle, we're going to have to get to 47. All right, so great job by them, creating a good seam to run the ball. All right, you see them trying to twist. Again, they have a pretty good feel for this stuff. Here's one. Again, we, going back to that clip with the 3 and 5, and we're trying to read or get a feel for, some of the stuff that they're doing. Our guys here, they thought, man, we saw it on film a ton. We knew we were going to get some kind of pinch, some kind of twist, some kind of slants. All right, so we're running this thing to the 3. We would traditionally zone this thing off. All right, we'll zone this off no differently than everyone who runs wide zone or outside zone. All right, now the guard and the center kind of sense that this might be coming, so they look to base and pull. All right, and honestly, it did not work. So you see the center looking to kind of get around this thing, and then he inserts. You can just turn it into a double team on the fly if you like. But it's not a great surface for the back to read. Now he does an unbelievable job of hitting this thing and pressing it. All right, and those guys end up where they need to be, but we absolutely get strong here. Backside does a fantastic job. left guard, left tackle kind of getting in the way. All right, we don't really get those guys down, but they do stay on the inside out. And so even when we've guessed wrong, we've had some production. All right, we end up kind of coming back to this thing. All right, and this time they guessed right. All right, they guessed right. They said, I don't know. I think this guy's coming in. All right, so they get around it, and now we end up having a pretty big hole to get this one going. So same deal. They make a call at the line of scrimmage. We're talking. So the guard's saying, "Hey, I'll take this guy on my own. You got 25. All right, I think he's pinching in, so I want you to pull around on this. All right, and then no differently. These two have these two. All right, and they're told, hey, if that guy's all the way in there, the guard better be able to get through it. All right, so good job of helping each other out by the guard getting his hand on them, all right, and knocking them out. All right, so like I said, sometimes you guess right. So here's some good ones. All right, and this is one where this one's not telegraphed. Right, we're going to get the 5 techniques, going to spike 45s in there. All right, and it's a good job by our guys. Right, our left tackle picks up, puts down, he collects. The center gets around the whole thing. Right side of the offensive line, they're basing. All right, they're expecting some kind of twist, so they're trying to wheel this thing off. All right, and the running back does a good job of fitting it in there. All right, we get some yards. Here's one. All right, here's one where we get the backside. All right, the backside shade. We're worried about a crossface. Now, what I'll tell you is, hey, we should probably just run this thing over here. But this was towards the end of the game, and we were trying to scramble for some answers as we ran the clock out. And they said, hey, coach, I think we can just block back and we can pull the guard around for the front side backer based on these alignments. All right, and this was a thing where I just kind of trusted our guys. I said, hey, give it a shot. That's what you think. So ends up getting around. I can't tell you we actually blocked it right. All right, but again, if guys understand, hey, it's 3 for 3, it's 4 for 4, it's 5 for 5, it can allow for you to, make some adjustments, and the guys kind of see the big picture. And this is a ridiculous run. All right, so that was a pretty big spot in the game, and trust those guys to make that adjustment there. So here's one we get a chance to see the movement coming. All right, now again, I don't want to down block on the guy who's going to play the backside A gap. All right, so this was a little bit of an older group, and this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. All right, so we're going to end up kind of letting this guy go here. We're going to double these two back to this backside backer. We're anticipating this, and the guard's actually going to pull around here. So again, it's just understanding where people are going and then making the adjustments. All right, making the adjustments. And it's a ridiculous job by the center. Just keeps playing. Throws an extra block, gets us some extra yards. Here's one. We see this against 3-3 stack teams, right? To me, it wouldn't matter if we're playing 3-3 stack, if we're playing with a reduced front. All right. Again, it's 3 for 3, it's 4 for 4, however you look at it. So here, again, we were anticipating movement here. We had a wide 5. All right. So we're going to run him up the field. So we're going to down block with the guard. All right. We're going to pull the center. Problem is, how do you get the 1 with the down block? Right. So 64 is actually going to pull around as well. And the backside tackle has the backside B gap player. All right. So again, this was after, I think this was in the fourth quarter here, last drive of the game. One of the things that was cool, this is an older kid here. This came from the sideline, and he knew what we wanted, and he didn't have to change sides. He just said, all right, I got it, coach. We're running wide zone to the right. We're going to get some pullers. I'm getting behind it. And he makes a hell of a run there. So, and then here's something, again, whether this is to the tight end, to the open end, something we do is we'll run some play action. All right, we'll run some play action with the centers pulling. All right, in an attempt to, again, not make it so, hey, read the center. He pulls. Make sure that you're just flying downhill. All right, we do have ways to keep them honest in that sense. So, same deal. We can do this out of pistol. We can do this from opposite sides. We can do this from the same side. All right, we're pretty multiple in how we do it. And we'll do it with a ton of different motions and things like that. But it's a really simple concept. I can promise you I don't spend a lot of time teaching it. We spend more time teaching what the defenses are doing. And when those guys understand the big picture of, the play and the concept, they'll surprise you. They come up with some of the answers that we probably wouldn't have thought of, but there it is on film. And it's been pretty good for us. So not just an explosive play, but very efficient as well. So That's all I got. Any questions?
Okay, Coach, thanks again for all that you've done here today. Thank you again on behalf of the Lewis family and Lauren's First and Goal. That will conclude this hour's talk.
Thank you.